We welcome you today to this press conference organized on the occasion of the International Day of the Endangered Lawyer 2023. The International Day of the Endangered Lawyer has been observed every year on the 24th January since 2010. The purpose of this International Day is to draw the attention of government officials, international institutions, civil society, the media, and the general public to the plight of lawyers in a particular focus country. This day raises awareness about the threats the lawyers in that country face in the exercise of their profession. This year, Afghanistan was chosen in order to highlight the dire situation lawyers and justice professionals are facing in Afghanistan since the takeover in 2021. A few words regarding this dire situation for the legal profession. As it is written in the report of the 22nd of November 2021, the Taliban's Ministry of Justice issued a decree depriving the AIBA, the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association, of its independence, including its authority to grant license to lawyers. One day after the decree was issued, Taliban forces stormed the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association's headquarters in Kabul, threatening the employees and members and ordering them to leave the premises. Taliban gained access to the AIBA's databases, including data on over 2,500 lawyers, as well as information on the cases they have handled. Taliban also seized control of the AIBA's bank accounts and funds. Since then, the AIBA was forced to cease its operations in the country and was placed under the control of the de facto Taliban Ministry of Justice. The same decree also stated that only Taliban-approved lawyers are allowed to appear before the courts. Lawyers are required to obtain a new license fulfilling a set of criteria devised by the ministry. In practice, lawyers are examined on the basis of their past activities and their understanding of Sharia's principles. Those who were previously active in the field of human rights or who had relationships with international organizations are automatically denied a license and are therefore no longer permitted to practice. Further, although before the Taliban, women counted for 25% of the AIBA's members, to date the Taliban has granted licenses only to men. This was just a short introduction. The other speakers will give you the full picture, including people, lawyers, judges, prosecutors, who were forced to leave the country. Since the events in August 2021, the CCB was immediately approached to play a role in assisting our Afghan colleagues whose very lives were in immediate danger. We are proud to have been able to collaborate with AIBA in order to provide them with practical assistance. It is this collaboration that led to the organization of today's press conference, which aim is to officially announce the relaunching of the AIBA activities in exile in Brussels. For us, the CCB, the voice of the legal profession in Europe, defending and promoting human rights and the rule of law is on top of our priorities. Supporting Afghan lawyers and their organization, Afghanistan Independent Bar Association, to rebuild democracy and the rule of law in Afghanistan is considered as an obligation for us. Defending the free exercise of the legal profession, defending the independence of justice, defending the defenders is our mission. We will continue supporting AIBA and Afghan lawyers with consistency until the rule of law returns in Afghanistan. Until then, we call on the international community in their efforts towards the de facto authorities in Afghanistan to not stop asking for a free legal profession in the country. We also call on the bar associations and law societies of the world to support Afghan lawyers, as well as the continued existence of the AIBA and its operations now in exile. I am honored today to have next to me the president of the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association, Mr. Ridullah Harizada, the president of the French-speaking Brussels Bar, Mr. Emmanuel Plascart, and the vice president of the International Bar Association, Mr. Claudio Visco. After thanking all those who worked for today's event, and in particular our head of communications, Karin Metaye, and our legal advisor, Nathan Rosbeck, without further delay, I give the floor to the AIBA's vice president, Mr. Claudio Visco. Thank you.
Thank you. And first of all, let me congratulate with the AIBA for having this opportunity to create an independent association in exile to continue the work AIBA has been doing over the past 15 years. The AIBA is it's very close to the heart of the IBA because we as IBA played a very significant role in creating this association. This was the result of a joint efforts of the IBA and several other organizations who voluntarily contributed to the creation of the AIBA. I remember personally, I was in Dubai, I think it was 2018 or 2017, where we organized a 2 days learning event for members of the organization. I think they were all hosted by the German embassy. Of course, it was impossible for us, the speakers, to get there, but we wanted to be close to them. We said, let's go to Dubai, which is the closest place where we can get, and let's be a group giving the message to them that we are committed. And so we are very proud of what we have done. Unfortunately, the takeover by the Taliban in the summer 2021 disrupted completely the work we had done. But it only disrupted in, let's say, physical terms, because the spirit of the IBA, I think, remained unchanged. And let me say that probably even stronger than was before. So what we had been discussing during the learning process of the association, independence of lawyer, rule of law, which were somehow concepts very close to them, because AIBA was coming from a period of Taliban domination until I think it was 2000. So they knew what that meant. But really, the fact of being confronted with this issue on a sort of practical way made it them feel more important than they were on paper. What IBA did after the takeover, of course, we had to help them in all possible respect. I was probably the first one contacted by President Ridullah Harizada, and this happened just before the summer, when he had feelings that something was going wrong and that there were very little possibilities of surviving in the country as independent association, and that the members of AIBA would have become immediately the target of retaliation. President Harizada was in touch with us to organize the repatriation on a number of officers, members of the organization, people who had supported it. The IBA engaged in this work together with other organizations, and we were quite successful in, together with others, in relocating, particularly to Greece, 500 Afghan lawyers, both members of the association, but also lawyers who had been in difficult positions because of their prior engagement with the association, because of the fact that they defended the cases in which certain issues which were problems for the new Taliban de facto government would have exposed them to retaliation. This is a violation of one of the basic principles of United Nations, the fact that lawyers should not be identified with their clients and the cause of their clients. What happened in Afghanistan, and President Kwarizada would be much better placed than me in describing that, is that really lawyers have been prosecuted for positions they had taken over times. So the spirit of AIBA is remain untouched, and this is the fact why the IBA, in particular, the executive director, Mark Ellis, but also Romana St. Matthew was the press relationship person of the IBA, worked very hard to create this organization. In particular, the IBA gave its contribution by creating a website. The IBA and AIBA together designed the architecture of the new website. Of course, now we need to fill the box with content. This will, again, be a joint effort. AIBA will be the primary driver in providing us content, but the IBA will offer all technical but also substantive support which may be needed in this exercise. At this point, let me simply thank CCB and the French-speaking Brussels Bar for helping us to make this further steps, that of the creation of an office for the AIBA in exile. We are pretty sure that being in Brussels, which is the center of Europe, will very much facilitate the engagement of AIBA with all the other players, which will help to preserve this association, which is really the symbol of the independence. It is very important. We asked questions when we were discussing with Mark Ellis. Should we do that or not? Because we were quite conscious that this might have been a quite significant move, and we didn't know how this would have been perceived by the local Taliban authority in Afghanistan, whether this could have exposed former members of the association who are still in the country to some sort of retaliation. We make some check and balances, and we concluded together with President Kwarizada that we needed to do that, and that this would only be beneficial to people who remained in Afghanistan. This is one of the main goals, but President Kwarizada will be more precise than me on the targets that the IBA in exile is pursuing, that of provide not only maintaining the concept and what the IBA has created in terms of experience, of knowledge, but also helping people who are in the country to continue fighting for the rule of law, for independence of lawyer, for equality of gender. Thank you again, and thanks again for inviting the IBA to participate to this event.
Mr. President.
Do you hear me? Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much also for your invitation. The Brussels Bar was involved in September after a call I received from Jean-Marc Picard, who is the head of the immigration Law Commission of Avocat.be, and who told me that there was a need of the support of the Belgian bars, and especially the Brussels bar, to help the Afghan bar in exile to establish itself here in Brussels for the reason you just explained. So we did meet with the president and with Mr. Nadiri in the presence of Ivo Shansky, who is the president of our Human Rights Institute, with Corinne Delgouffre, who is a member of my cabinet, with others, with the former president of the CCBE, Georges Albert Dalle, who you know probably all, and we had a very constructive and fruitful meeting, and we decided that we were of course convicted. I think you can only be convicted if you have colleagues from Afghanistan, from everywhere in the world, who come to knock on your door and to say, well, you know, we need your help between colleagues. Well, then it's the time to make it very concrete what it means, international solidarity between lawyers and between bars. And so for us it was a no-brainer to help the Afghan bar in exile. And you requested our help first to establish the statutes of international non-profit association. So that work is pending, is going on, and so hopefully we will be able to finalize it very soon. And you also requested our help to find a seat, symbolic seat for the Brussels bar in exile. So we are also working on that to find the appropriate address, to find a shelter, to find a home for the Afghan bar in exile. And we will also, together with you, with the AIBA, with the CCBA, and with others, help with any material help you need. I'm thinking about spaces for offices, spaces to meet, etc. Well, to the extent we can, we will of course also help with that part of Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for your support. And now, Mr. President, dear colleague, you have the floor.
Thank you. آقای پراکیس، آقای پراکیس، آقای کلاودیو ویسکو، آقای امانوئل، میمانان محترم سازمان‌های بین‌المللی، وکلای محترم، خانم ها، آقایان، روزنامه‌نگاران محترم، صبح شما بخیر. سلام های گرم و من و رهبری انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع در تبعید را پذیرا شوید. در آغاز 24 جنوری روز جهانی وکلای مدافع در معرض خطر را تبریک میگویم و همبستگی و حمایت خود را از همه وکلای مدافع در معرض خطر، خصوصا وکلای مدافع در افغانستان و جهان که هنوز در میان چالش‌های متعدد در تلاش برای بلند بردن صدای عدالت و حقوق خود هستند ابراز می‌کنم.
Dear President of the CCB, Council of the Bar and Law Society of Europe, Mr. Porax, Vice President of International Bar Association, Mr. Claudi, President of the French-speaking Brussels Bar, Mr. Emmanuel, respect guests from international organization, honorable lawyers, our colleagues in Afghanistan Bar Association, journalists, ladies and gentlemen. I express my greeting to all of you on behalf of Afghanistan Independent Bar Association. At the beginning, we extend our warm greeting on 24th of January, the International Day of Endangered Lawyer, and express our solidarity and support for all endangered lawyers in Afghanistan and around the world who are still struggling to raise the voice of justice and right among many challenges.
همچنین از انجمن وکلای مدافع اتحادیه اروپا، انجمن وکلای مدافع فرانسه، ایتالیا، آلمان، اسپانیا، هلند، بلژیک، سوئید و سایر سازمان‌هایی که گزارش وضعیت وکلای در معرض خطر را امروز تهیه و منتشر کردند تشکر می‌کنم.
We also express our special thanks to CCB and the National Bar Association of French, Italy, Germany, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, Sweden, and another organization who have prepared the report on the status of the endangered lawyers of Afghanistan in this year and publish it today. You are reflecting the voice of the broad community of legal professionals to the world.
سقوط کابل در آگوست 2021 و استقرار مجدد طالبان منجر به پایان یافتن 2 دهه پیشرفت در توسعه اجتماعی و حاکمیت قانون شد و باعث شد هزاران نفر از جمله بسیاری از قضات، سارنحوالها و وکلای مدافع و دیگر متخصصان حقوقی از افغانستان فرار نمایند.
The dramatic fall of Kabul in August 2021 and the re-establishment of the Taliban government result at the end of 2 decades of progresses in social development and the rule of law, causing thousands of individuals, including many judge, prosecutor, defense lawyer, and other legal professions to flee Afghanistan.
یکی از دستاوردهای مهم بخش حقوقی در دولت قبلی ایجاد انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع افغانستان بود که در سال 2008 به اساس ماده 31 قانون اساسی ایجاد و به رسمیت شناخته شد.
One of significant accomplishment of the legal sectors under the previous government was the creation of the Independent Bar Association of Afghanistan in 2007 according to Article 31 of Constitution and recognizing the principle on independency of association.
ظرف 1 دهه انجمن جایگاه وکلا را در نظام حقوقی افغانستان با بیش از 6000 وکیل مدافعی که 25% آن را زنان تشکیل می‌دهد نهادینه ساخت.
Within a decade, the Afghanistan Bar Association established the status of lawyer in Afghan legal society with over 6,000 defense lawyers. Among this number, more than 25% are women.
انجمن نقش مهمی در تامین عدالت، حمایت از حاکمیت قانون و حمایت از حقوق شهروندان ایفا کرد. علاوه بر انجمن وکلای مدافع از طریق مشارکت در سیاست‌های تقنینی دولت مانند تدوین کد جزای جدید و جا دادن موارد حقوق بشری و قوانین بین‌المللی در کد جزا و سایر قوانین نقش مهم را ایفا کرد.
The Afghanistan Independent Bar Association played a key role in providing justice, supporting the rule of law, and protecting the right of citizens. Additionally, the Bar Association played a dynamic role in promoting human rights and international law through its involvement in the government legislative policy, such as the new penal code of Afghanistan.
با قدرت رسیدن طالبان منجر به از بین رفتن تمام پیشرفت‌ها و خصوص دستاوردهای بخش قانونی شد. در نوامبر 2021 کابینه طالبان تصمیم گرفت تا انجمن را منحل کند و در پی این تصمیم گروه‌های مسلح وابسته با طالبان و دفتر اصلی انجمن یورش بردند، کارمندان را بازداشت کردند و پرونده‌ها، دفاتر و بانک اطلاعاتی انجمن به شمول اطلاعات اعضا و موارد آن دسترسی پیدا کردند.
The Taliban rise to power result in the collapse of all the progresses of accomplishment made by the legal sectors under the previous government. In November 2021, the Taliban cabinet made the decision to dissolve the Independent Bar Association of Afghanistan. Following this decision, Taliban joined armed group, captured the Afghanistan Bar Association main office, detained staff member, and took control of the association file, office, and database, including information on its member and case.
این گروه همچنین با دسترسی به اسناد محرمانه انجمن و با دست آوردن اطلاعات از محل بود و باش وکلا که قبلا در پرونده های حقوق بشر حمایت از زنان کار کرده بودند ایشان را هدف قرار داده. در نتیجه در حدود بیشتر از 100 وکیل مدافع دستگیر، بازداشت شدند و بسیاری دیگر مجبور به مخفی شدن و ترک کشور شدند و بعد از نوامبر 2021 بیش از 6000 عضو انجمن از جمله وکلای مدافع زن با آینده نامعلوم روبرو شدند و فعالیت‌های آنها توسط طالبان ممنوع شد.
The Taliban group also targets specific lawyers who had previously working on a human rights and women protection case by the access the association confidential document and obtaining information on their locations. As a result, over 100 defense lawyers are arrested and detained, forcing many others to go into hiding.
مسدود شدن فعالیت انجمن توسط طالبان باعث شد که تعداد زیادی از وکلای مدافعی که در پرونده های مهم حقوق بشری فعال بودند مخفی شده و در شرایط سخت با منابع محدود زندگی کنند. همچنین حدود 25% از اعضای زن با سرنوشت نامشخصی در خانه‌های خود حیات به سر میبرند و قادر به انجام فعالیت‌های قانونی نیستند.
From November 2021, more than 6,000 Afghanistan Bar Association members, including female advocates, are left with the unclear future and their activity are banned by the Taliban. The termination of Afghanistan Bar Association by the Taliban has left a large number of lawyers who are previously active in important human rights cases in hiding and living in difficult conditions with limited resources. Furthermore, more than 25% of the female members of Afghanistan Bar Association being held in their home with unclear future and are unable to engage in any legal activities.
پس از سقوط کابل توسط طالبان اعضای انجمن متحد شدند که به کار خود ادامه بدهند و تصمیم گرفتند تا انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع در تبعید ایجاد کنند. این تلاش برای حفظ هویت انجمن، پیشرفت‌های حاصل شده در 20 سال گذشته و در عین حال ارائه خدمات به وکلای مدافع، به ویژه برای وکلای مدافع زن با حمایت شرکای بین المللی است.
After the fall of the Kabul and the Taliban takeover in August 2021, the leadership and the member of the Afghanistan Bar Association have announced their commitment to continue their work and have set up an exile. Fortunately, this concept was welcomed and supported by the International Bar Association, AIBA, and CCB. This is an effort to preserve the identity of Afghanistan Bar Association, the work of the lawyers, and the program and the progresses made over the past 20 years, while providing service particularly for the women and the endangered lawyers with the support of international partners.
تشکر ویژه از انجمن وکلای اتحادیه اروپا، انجمن فرانسه، ایتالیا، آلمان، اسپانیا، هلند، بلژیک، سویدن و سایر نهادهای عامی که گزارش از وضعیت وکلای مدافع در معرض خطر را ترتیب و امروز نشر نمودند. در حقیقت شما صدای یک مجموعه کلان از حقوقدانان را انعکاس دادید که یکی از اهداف اساسی انجمن در تبعید است.
The Afghanistan Independent Bar Association express greeting to the International Bar Association and CCB for their continuing support and advising for the setting up of association. Also special thanks and appreciated for the French-speaking Brussels Bar for their cooperation on their registration of the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association in Brussels and providing the office and their commitment to continue supporting in future.
جا داره از حمایت دوامدار انجمن بین المللی وکلای مدافع AIB، انجمن اتحادیه اروپا، انجمن وکلای بلژیک که در ایجاد انجمن در تبعید ما را همکاری همجا نمودن ابراز امتنان و تشکری نمایم. همچنان از حمایت‌های دوامدار کشور فرانسه، بلژیک، ایتالیا، اسپانیا، هلند و نهادهای حمایت از وکلای مدافع در معرض خطر و سایر نهادها که از وکلای مدافعی که در خطر قرار دارند انجام دادن ابراز تشکری نمایم.
As well, on behalf of my colleagues, I thanks to the National Bar Association of French, CMB, Flemish-speaking Bar of Belgium, Germany, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Sweden, International Federation of the Human Rights, European Union, and other organizations for their support of the endangering Afghan lawyers. The establishment of this organization would not have been possible without their valuable advice, valuable consultation, and in ongoing support.
قابل یادآوری می‌دانم چون انجمن در تبعید یک تجربه جدید است بنان به حمایت و مشوره‌های سودمند و همکاری‌های دوامدار شما نیازمند است.
We would like ادامه ترسیم.
روی موارد فوق احترامانه از دوستان و هممسلکان و عامیان خویش آرزو داریم که کمک‌های فوری به وکلای مدافع که در معرض خطر هستند مانند تامین محل امن و تسهیل انتقال آنها به کشورهای امن، توجه جدی به وضعیت بحرانی وکلای مدافع زن، اعمال فشار بین المللی بر طالبان برای رعایت حقوق اولیه افراد، همکاری و حمایت از برنامه‌های انجمن چون انجمن نهاد جدید است و نیاز به حمایت‌های فوری و مستمر شما دارد.
We would like you to continue providing immediate assistance to defense attorneys who are in danger, such as securing and safe location and facilitating their relocation to the safe country, acknowledging the critical situation of the female defense lawyer in Afghanistan, applying international pressure to the Taliban to respect the basic right of the individual, collaboration and supporting for the program of Afghanistan Bar Association in exile as its new institutes and need urgent and continuing support from you.
صحبت‌های خود با شریک ساختن پیام یک تن از وکلای مدافع در خانم در افغانستان که همین اکنون در مکان مخفی زندگی می‌کند خاتمه می‌دهد.
I all end my speech by sharing a message from one of my colleagues, a female defense lawyer who is currently hiding in Afghanistan.
من آرزویم را زمانی از دست دادم که خانه دومم انجمن در نوامبر 2021 منحل شد. آن وقت من شکستم. من امید خود را کاملا از دست دادم ولی امروز زمانی که دعوتنامه افتتاح دوباره خانه دوم خود را در صفحات مجازی ملاحظه نمودم، ابتدا فکر می کردم در خوابم ولی خوشبختانه این خواب نه بلکه حقیقت بود. حالا حداقل من و هممسلکانم امید به آینده داریم. یک بار دیگر تشکر از کسانی که در ایجاد دوباره این نهاد همکاری نمودند.
She was writing to me that I had lost my hope when my second home, the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association, dissolved in November 2021 by the Taliban. I had completely lost my hope. But today, when I saw the invitation to reopen my second home, the Afghanistan Bar Association, on the social media, at the first I thought I was dreaming. But fortunately, it was not dream, it's a truth. Now, at least I have hope for future. I'm thankful for those who cooperated and re-establishment this institute. Thank you so much.
Now I believe we can take some questions if there are. Yes, please.
I would like to ask a question about
Please, your name.
Laila Mosadid, freelance journalist. As I know that a lot of lawyers in Afghanistan, they are in danger and they lost all their hope as the president mentioned it. The message time to time I receive from women from the far from Kabul, I mean different provinces, especially in the north of Afghanistan, they are in danger. They say that Taliban received all their information because they judged before the Taliban who are prisoner. And they ask always how the international community, especially BAR, doing for them to save their life. و از جناب آقای روح الله میخوایم بپرسم که با ایجاد دوباره بار هدف اساسی چی هست و چگونه شما میتونین مردم به ویژه زنا را کمک بکنین. Just a question about how can they support the lawyer if they're opening their office again. Thank you.
Claudia, would you like to say a word on that?
Yes, this was an issue that we faced at the very beginning. So the IBA, for example, first got involved in a fundraising, just approaching all its members. We were able to collect some 20,000 euros on dollars, I don't remember, which is a small figure, but you can do a lot with $1 in Afghanistan. So we were very careful to manage those funds, and we supported people still in the country. We got engaged in relocating these people. This was an effort with government of the member organizations. Not an easy task, because even in Europe, it wasn't easy to get consensus on countries accepting refugees from Afghanistan. There was an issue of final destination, where there were countries which were prepared to accept people coming from Afghanistan, but not as the final destination. So we had to negotiate with different countries to make sure that the process could be streamlined and people from Afghanistan being able to find a permanent home, as President Rula was able to do, and we managed to do that for other lawyers, and also for in particular for female judges. Through the Human Rights Institute of the association, we were engaged in a program according to which a few hundred female judges from Afghanistan were relocated in a number of European countries. This is what we did. We know that is very little, but difficult to do more.
May I ask one more question? Yes. You're also working internationally. If the lawyers from Afghanistan, they provide more document to bring, and all this document for you, how can you support? I mean that there is any way to bring the war criminals, like a Taliban, they did a lot in Afghanistan, in many different parts of Afghanistan, from north, east, west, all country. There is any way to bring that in International Supreme Court in Laha? Thank you.
This is always an open question. We shall see about that, but returning to your previous question, events like this one today, sensibilization of the general public, of the international community, is also something very important, I believe. Mr. President, if you want to add something?
Yes. به ارتباط سوال که شما مطرح کردین، انجمن گفتین با وجودی که اهدافش قبلا هم ذکر کردم که در شروع ما می‌خوایم حفظ هویت انجمن من حیث یک نهاد مستقل غیر دولتی و غیر سیاسی که بود حفظ شود، حفظ دستاوردها، و از همه مهمتر یک بخش عمده‌اش حمایت از وکلای مدافع متضرر بود. متاسفانه تا الحال همکاری‌هایی که در قسمت وکلای مدافع صورت گرفته، یک هماهنگی با رهبری انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع وجود نداشته. اینا همیشه به طور انفرادی تماس‌های را حاصل کردن و به شکل انفرادی اجراات صورت گرفته. که حتی اطلاع داریم که بعضی وکلای مدافع که بعضی کسایی که حتی وکیل نبودن، با استفاده از زمین رفتار اونا انتقال داده شدن. اما خوشبختانه بعد از ایجاد انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع در تبعید، امی هماهنگی‌ها به وجود می‌آید، آدرس مشخص پیدا میشه و بعداً آرزو داریم که با همکاری نهادهای بین المللی، همکارا دوستای ما که اینجا نشستن، ما برنامه‌های روی دست خواهد گرفتیم و در هماهنگی با هم دیگر در قسمت وکلای مدافعی که در معرض خطر هستند اقدامات لازمه انجام خواهد داد.
About Supreme Court, if you have any...
چنانچه که ما برنامه را با انجمن وکلای مدافع برلین ما راهاندازی کردیم در قسمت انتقال وکلای مدافع در معرض خطر که البته این هماهنگی‌ها طور دوامدار وجود داره و ما کارهای را هم روی دست گرفتیم و بعضا معرفی کردیم و در آینده هم برنامه‌های در این قسمت وجود داره.
As I mentioned before in my speech, the goals and also the main activity of the Afghanistan Bar Association in exile. So one of the main goals is to keep the independency and address of Afghanistan Bar Association, and as well to coordinate all activities of lawyers inside of Afghanistan and outside of Afghanistan. And one of the problem was before the lack of coordinations, and this lack of coordinations made a big problem that some of peoples which was not lawyers are included in some programs, and there was no any address for the coordination of activity of lawyer inside of Afghanistan and outside of Afghanistan. And the creation of the Afghanistan Bar Association will be solve this problem as well for men and women. As well, there is a special program from Germany that we now start a dialogue with the Federal Bar Association of Germany, and thanks for the Federal Bar Association of Germany. And we introduce some of our colleagues which are they are in danger in Afghanistan, and the case are in the process. And in future, that's also one of the good opportunity for our colleagues in Afghanistan to evacuate it from Afghanistan to reach the safe place and the safe life.
Thank you.
Are there other? Yeah, please.
Thank you. This is an Italian lawyer, Daniela. I wanted to ask you a question, Dr. Visco. You mentioned earlier that you and President Karizada had really thought it through and tried to weigh, the benefit versus the challenges that setting this up in exile could cause. And I think it's fair to say, we often say, let's hope for the best, right? But let's expect the worst. So just for us to have a framework of the worst case scenario, in your conversations with President Karizada, what were the main elements that you were thinking about of the negative impact, or even an impact in general that this could have vis-a-vis the lawyers that were behind and the relationship with the de facto authorities? Because that would set up, the red lines of what to try to avoid as much as possible. Thank you.
Not an easy question. Of course, the fact of creating a competing organization in exile might have an impact on what will happen to lawyers who continue to be member of the former AIBA. So we were mainly concerned about possible retaliation. The level of pressure on Afghan lawyers who remain in the country is already very high. So probably the main argument which played in favor of supporting the creation of an independent association was the fact that probably the situation in Afghanistan could not be worse than it is currently. So we were adding another element which could make AIBA in Afghanistan the target of possible retaliation, but we know that what the AIBA in exile will be able to achieve in terms of just becoming the center of all international activities and initiatives would really prevail over the concern of that we have expressed about creating a competing organization. In any event, the former AIBA is still a member of the IBA. We will be considering the position of the former AIBA and decide whether the association has still the prerequisite for being a member of the IBA, and we will of course be very welcome to consider an application from AIBA in exile to also become a member of the IBA. There is no issue in having two organizations representing the same country. We believe and we are hopeful and faithful that it would be probably in the long run be possible to reopen a channel of communication with the former AIBA. The members are the same members who were part of that organization when it was active and was a free organization. We really hope to be able to re-establish a line of communication. Not an easy task, but certainly there is no intention to completely abandon the members of that organization and that organization as such.
Yes, please.
My name is Frank Schwalbe-Hoth. I'm German. I'm one of the founders of the German Green Party and the first Green member of the European Parliament. In my heart, I'm very close to Afghanistan because I remember I organized in the European Parliament some years ago a meeting with a woman from Afghanistan who was governor of one of the provinces. And I worked several years in Kashmir, just on the other side, just at the border to Afghanistan. And there I learned how important a work of a bar association is, because there in the Indian part of Kashmir, the bar association is the vocal voice against human rights violations. And I think it's good that you choose the press club, because the press club is as well the seat of the press club from Ukraine in exile. And I think, therefore, here you have open doors. But my question is the following. A bar association, you know it better than me, is there to serve the lawyers. But it is as well, has a function to serve, therefore, indirectly the population. A large part of the population of Afghanistan is no longer in Afghanistan, is here in Europe. And I just read in a Spanish newspaper that a former civil servant from Afghanistan with his wife, 2 children, in Spain is so fed up that the legal requirements to be a refugee here are not respected. Brussels is a place where 2,000-3,000 people are sleeping in the streets, among them Afghan people, despite that it's illegal, despite that the government has the obligation to offer them a roof. Therefore, my question is, I totally understand that your priority is to work directly and indirectly towards the situation in Afghanistan. But is it in your working intentions, not necessarily plans, but working intentions, to be active as well for those Afghan who are lost because they don't have law counseling here, appropriate law counseling. And despite that there are certain rules, laws even here in a lot of in all European countries, in several European countries, they are not treated according to these laws and rules. And desperately, this man, where I read the story in the Spanish newspaper, has now asked to go back to Afghanistan. And there are certainly others who have similar thoughts when they are here under semi-human conditions, no perspective, because of slow working or racism or whatever in the structure. The question is, do you want to be active as well in Belgium, in Spain, or wherever, for those Afghans who are living here? Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. President. Before you, just a word. In my opinion, the existence of an independent bar, even here in exile in Brussels, is still a huge hope for people who are there, even this. But the President can tell more.
ما بله برنامه‌های در قسمت یکی از جمله چون موضوع اهداف در پرس ریلیزی که بود در او به صورت کامل نشر شده. بازم خدمت شما یادآوری کنیم که ما در قسمت وکلای مدافع که خصوصا در کشورهای اروپایی یا سایر کشورها آمدن در قسمت از اون در اهداف خود برنامه‌ای داریم، خصوصا در قسمت یادگیری لسان، جا دادن از اونا مطابق رشته و مسلک در انجمن. چند روز پیش ما با انجمن وکلای مدافع فرانسه ملاقات داشتیم و با اونا صحبت کردیم. اونا حاضر هستند تا که وکلای مدافع را مطابق مسلک دوباره به وکالت بپذیرند در صورتی که همون واجد شرایط باشند و همچنان در قسمت سایر مشکلاتی که وکلای مدافع ما در مهاجرت داشته باشند هرگاه با ما تماس بگیرند ما توجه میکنیم. با مسئولین در این قسمت برنامه‌های را خاطر اندازی کردیم، چنانچه سفرهایی در این قسمت از رهبری انجمن صورت گرفته به جرمنی، به اسپانیا و باز کشورهای دیگه. در این قسمت هم یعنی شامل برنامه ما هست، برنامه ریزی میکنیم. و در قسمت مردم در کل ما وکلای مدافع خود که گرفتیم، یعنی یک مرکزیت تنها برای وکلای مدافع نخواد بودیم بلکه در کل برای تمام مردم افغانستان، یعنی که وقتی که انتقال میشن هرگاه با چالش و مشکل مواجه شوند و ما آگاه شویم، ما خود مکلف میدانیم که در قسمت سهولت‌ها و همکاری‌ها با اونا هم دریغ نکنیم.
Thank you for your question. First of all, I can mention that the mission, the goals of the Afghanistan Bar Association (Exile) is already published in the press release, and our aim is two important goals. One, providing assistance for the lawyers inside of Afghanistan, one providing assistance for the lawyer and for the citizen of Afghan in outside of Afghanistan. In outside of Afghanistan, like for the lawyers, we will be contact with all European countries to provide the lawyers at least job opportunities, as well as the learning language and some other problems they have. But for the people of Afghans, which is they are in outside of Afghanistan, for sure, because we have a lot of defense attorney here in Europe, and they can provide for the people of Afghanistan free advice, as well to solve a problem and advocacy for the right of the citizen of Afghanistan, especially for the immigrant people, which is they have a lot of problem.
Yes, please.
Maybe also to mention, but in a general way, that you cannot ask too much to a bar, especially a bar in exile. I think one of the most important missions of a bar is indeed to protect the individual lawyers, to enable them to exercise, to do their job, basically. And I think that's one of the most important goals of a bar, is to protect its members, because when the members are protected, well, then they can play their role and they can help the population. So I think the first and primary goal, especially for a bar in exile, should be to protect its lawyers, either in Afghanistan or here abroad. And maybe a second remark, you are right, of course, the situation of the asylum seekers who are sleeping in the streets is just unacceptable. The Brussels Bar took also some initiatives to help them and to provide them with the first line legal counsel by creating in April 2022 a help desk, which is still in force. It was supposed to last for a couple of weeks, and it still lasts, and that's of course unfortunate. But you know that the Brussels Labor Court already, I think we are at 7,000 judgments. In a normal year, there are 40 or 50 judgments like this, and here we are at 7,000. But we're waiting for a strong reaction from the Belgian government, but still waiting.
Are there any questions, please?
Thank you. Thank you to all. Zaki Ayubi, AIBA Bar member of AIBA Bar Association. And I will ask in Persian, but I live in Germany. And this a little joke because in my mind 2-3 language fighting, German, English and Persian. جناب رئیس خیلی ممنون، تشکر از ارائه گزارش و فعالیت‌هایی که تا حال اکنون انجام دادین. جناب رئیس از فعالیت‌ها شروع از او خیلی ممنون. در قدم اولی را ذکر کردین که تهدید اصلی نهادهای عدلی و قضایی در افغانستان است و بعد از وکلای مدافع یک پیشنهاد مایی است که
You have mentioned that the target are the judicial organs in Afghanistan and also the defense lawyers. My proposal is that
یکی از اهداف که یقینا ممکنی هم باشه ای باشه که نهاد انجمن در گذشته ها در افغانستان من حیث یک نهاد مستقل عمل کرده بود، من حیث یک نهاد غیر سیاسی و وابسته به هیچ نهادی نبوده.
The Afghanistan Bar Association in previous was independence and there is no link with any political party and other organization.
و یقینا که اگر در آینده نهادهای عدلی و قضایی خصوصا وکلای مدافع که انتقال شوند بر ساحه امن، مشکل کلانی که در افغانستان میمونه باز همون 36 یا 40 میلیون نفوس افغانستان است که واقعا تلاشایی هم که از طرف جامعه جهانی صورت گرفته که مثلا یک پروسه صلح واقعی در افغانستان تامین شود، این هم تلاشا وجود داره. ما پیشنهاد ما است که انجمن در ساختار سیاسی آینده افغانستان اگر تلاشایی صورت میگیره من حیث یک نهاد، من حیث یک وسیله چی بگویم، من حیث که این هم یک چی باشه که در این پروسه داخل باشه، به خاطر از اینکه میتونه که کمک به سزای انجام بده.
My proposal is that if it's possible for the future engagement of the peace in Afghanistan and also the establishment of the new government, if the Afghanistan Bar Association will be involved, that will be a good point because the Afghanistan Bar Association is a big body of legals and also representative from the majority of the people.
و حمایت جامعه انجمن بین‌المللی وکلای مدافع همانطور کشورهایی که یاد کردین، همه از اینا که حمایت بکنه تاثیرگذار است، به خاطر از اینکه افغانستان فعلا بیخی فراموش شده و چی بخوایم نخوایم طالبان در افغانستان حاکم هستند. تجربه نظامی هم 20 سال قبل هم صورت گرفت، اما 20 سالم پس دوباره همو نظامی که ساخته شده بود هم از بین رفت و باز حال هیچ راه و چاره جز این نیست که ما یک راه باید پیدا بکنیم.
Since the Afghanistan, the International Bar Association and also the CCB and also all other organizations are supporting this body, and that will be help for future process of the peace, because Afghanistan, or I think Afghanistan, are lost and forgot from the diplomacy of the world, and the effort of the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association, including other organizations, can be useful for the rebuild in new government and also peace in Afghanistan.
خوب است، تشکر. این موضوعی است که خب خودتان بیشتر میفهمی که انجمن یادآوری کردی که یک نهاد غیر دولتی و غیر سیاسی بوده و تا فعلا هم به مو منوال پیش رفته. یک چیزی که وایداس واضح است، هر اجرات یا هر عملی که ما میکنیم به نوع سیاسی، سال اگر انتقاد میکنیم، اگر صدا بلند کنیم، در حالت به حساب حرکات ما در ظاهر سیاسی معلوم میشه، ولو که ما اهداف حقوقی داشته باشیم. اما این موضوع شما خوب است، همراه رهبری انجمن در تبعید است بالای از این موضوع صحبت خواهد شد و بعدا باز در صورت که توافق شد با دوستای و شریکای بین المللی خود امور موضوع را شریک می‌سازیم.
Thank you so much for your proposal, and as you all know that Afghanistan Bar Association are independent and there is no link with any political parties, as well that as you know that any significant activity of the Bar Association is now it's translated in Afghanistan as a political, but we are working to defend the right of the peoples. But we will be in dealing with the legal section, but as well we will be share this proposal with the board of directory, and for sure we will be for future we will be focused in this regard as well. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Just to follow up on what you
Your name,
said.
please. Your name.
Marjan. The job of an association, bar association, is via helping the lawyers to help the population. And I'm still not clear how this move is going to benefit the Afghan people who live there, who need legal representation. Just to highlight that there are actions that people are taking to advocate for their own rights in Afghanistan. They are meeting with the DFA to make this situation of defense lawyers better. These are Afghans working at the grassroots levels, defense lawyers who are trying to make their own situation better in Afghanistan so that they can actually work for the people. There are women who have gone and received very unauthorized work permits, defense lawyers, even after the last decree that prevented them from working. So these are people who are passionate about engaging with their own people and representing them. I don't understand, I understand the passion of us sitting here and wanting to bring these lawyers out because they're in danger, but how is this gonna at the long run work for the Afghan people who are left without representation if you bring more people outside of Afghanistan?
I think that's a question for you, President.
خب ما تعهد کردیم در ارتباط وکلای مدافع خود در افغانستان، مثل که یادآوری کردیم که کسانی که در معرض خطر هستند در حیث انتقال از یا در حیث سایر همکاری‌هایی که لازم است همراهشان صورت خواهد گرفت. اما موضوع دراز مدت فکر میکنم این ارتباط میگیره با سیاست جهانی. بیشتر یادآوری شد که با سیاست گپ نزنیم، مجبور هستیم این نقطه را یادآوری کنم که در قسمت افغانستان چی تصمیم گرفته میشه در قسمت حکومت طالبا، موجودیتش، دوامدار بودنش و یا ایست که یک مدت شاید حکومت با پایه‌ای وسیع بیایه یا چی تغییرات در افغانستان میایه. این تمام فعالیت های ما ارتباط به حساب موضوع سیاسی افغانستان در کل میگیره که با در نظر داشته از اون ما میتونیم که فعالیت های خود هماهنگ کنیم.
Just a moment, to translate, to understand what he said.
In the short term, our service will be for the endangered lawyer, which is now stuck in Afghanistan. But for the long term, it depends of the type of the government for future and also the political, how it will be going well or not. So that's belong of that. We will be continue. We will be follow up the policy of the establishment, the new government, as well the political.
One more.
I would just say that you can take those who are in danger, the lawyers or otherwise, out without creating an exile AIBA, right? But in the long run, that's the focus right now, because I worry that this takes the focus away from those inside who need the support of the international community, instead of putting it to an association in exile.
I would like to say one thing. In our views, a bar association is an independent bar association. Without independency, it's not really a bar. Cannot serve as he should do. So, therefore, the question is not this one. The question is, existing an independent Afghanistan Bar Association in exile or not existing at all? This is the question, I think. Are there any further questions? Since there are not, thank you for being here. Please read and circulate the report. Read and circulate its recommendations. And thank you. We will continue to support Afghan lawyers and the AIBA. Thank you. Well, one last, please. Okay.
امینی تخلص میکنم. اهل افغانستان هستم و فعلا اقامت دارم در کشور جرمنی. سالهای سال زیر چتر انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع افغانستان ایفای وظیفه نمودم.
I'm Mr. Amini. I live in Germany and I'm from Afghanistan, and I was long times a member of the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association.
متاسفانه به سبب سقوط نظام جمهوری اسلامی افغانستان و روی کار آمدن گروه طالبان، تمامی اهداف نیک و آرزوهایی که مردم ما داشتن به هم ریخت.
Unfortunately, with the fall of government in Afghanistan, all hopes of the people of Afghanistan, which is they destroyed.
مدتی را که ما در افغانستان بودم و گروه طالبان در اوج حاکم بودن، واقعا که از همکارای خود ما با خبر بودم که در بسیار حالت وخیم و بدی به سر می بردن. ولی امروز خیلی روز نیک و روز خوبی است که احوال از به گوشم می رسه که انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع افغانستان در تبعید دوباره به کار خود آغاز کرد.
I spent time in the Taliban's government winning power, and I know the situation of my colleagues in Afghanistan are so bad. and they are living in one big, in many challenge. And when I heard that the Afghanistan Bar Association re-establishment, and it is a good news for me, and it's a hope for future.
تشکر میکنم از اتحادیه محترم اروپا، مخصوصا کشور بلژیک، کشور جرمنی، کشور فرانسه که در این راستا همکاریای خوب و نیکی را دارن با ما و تقاضای ما ای است که در قسمت تحقق اهداف انجمن مستقل وکلای مدافع افغانستان بیشتر و بیشتر ما را یاری و همکاری ببخشند.
I thanks for the International Bar Association, the CCB, the Brussels Bar, and all other bar association of Europe for the supporting the Afghanistan Independent Bar Association, and I requested to keep support and continue this cooperation in future as well.
تشکر از نهادهای محترم که در برگزاری جلسه همکاری کردن و تشکر از مهمانان عزیزم که اشتراک کردن.
Thank you so much for the organizer of this event, and thanks for all guests that they participate in the event.
Thank you, dear colleague. Thank you all.